President Trump calls for talks between U.S., Russia, and China on nuclear disarmament. Government approves pre-feasibility report for Vinh, Thuy Expressway. Basket boat fishing, preserving tradition, and supporting local livelihoods.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news by Nghệ An Press and Broadcasting Agency. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go, the first headline of the show. The U.S. President Donald Trump said he wants to convene a meeting between the United States, Russia, and China to discuss reducing their nuclear arsenal.
I've agreed, as you know, I put a 20% tariff on.
What I want to pursue is nuclear disarmament. In other words, a meeting between the world's three major nuclear powers to reduce their arsenals. We're number one, Russia is number two, and China is number three. President Donald Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One on November 15th. According to President Trump, the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. He noted that Russia ranks second and China third, but warned that within the next 4 or 5 years, both countries will catch up with the U.S. President Trump also announced that the United States intends to resume nuclear testing soon. His remarks came shortly after he said he had directed the U.S. Department of War to begin preparations for new nuclear tests, arguing that other countries are doing the same.
On November 17th, UK Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood is expected to announce a major reform to the country's asylum policy, shifting from long-term asylum status to a temporary, periodically reviewed system. The change aims to curb illegal migration and make deportation easier to carry out.
Under the new plan, those granted asylum in the UK would be allowed to stay temporarily, with their status reviewed periodically, or face deportation as soon as their home country is deemed safe. Currently, asylum seekers in the UK are granted 5-year residence permits, after which they may apply for permanent settlement and eventually citizenship, provided they meet the necessary conditions. Under the upcoming reform, asylum seekers would need to wait at least 10 years and meet stricter requirements, including the ability to support themselves financially, having no criminal record, paying full national insurance contributions, and achieving high-level English proficiency. Family reunification rights would also be limited, requiring detailed and clear proof. Inspired by the Danish model, this policy marks the largest change to the UK's asylum system since World War II.
The Government Office has issued a notice conveying Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Há's agreement with Nghệ An Province, a proposal outlined in the Pre-Feasibility study report for Vinh Thuy Expressway project.
Following a review of the appraisal results and consultation with government members, Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà has approved the pre-feasibility study for the Vinh Thuy Expressway project, as proposed by the People's Committee of Nghệ An Province. The expressway will be approximately 60 kilometers long, with a preliminary total investment of nearly VND 24,000 billion. Its starting point will connect to the North-South Expressway at Dien Chau, by Vote, and the endpoint will be at the Thuy Border Economic Zone. This section is a key part of the Hanoi-Vientiane Expressway corridor, passing through 9 communes in Nghệ An Province. According to the plan, the National Assembly will review the investment policy in December 2025. Construction is expected to begin in September 2026, and land clearance is scheduled to be completed by the third quarter of 2027.
Upcoming are some updated news.
Starting in 2026, Vietnam will introduce several new vaccines into its expanded immunization program, including Rota and HPV vaccines, which will be provided free of charge to children and eligible citizens. The expanded immunization program has been in place since 1981 and implemented nationwide from 1985, helping Vietnam eradicate polio in 2000 and eliminate neonatal tetanus in 2005. Currently, The program provides 12 vaccines, protecting against 11 common infectious diseases for children and pregnant women. The addition of Rota and HPV vaccines will further strengthen public health protection in the years ahead.
On November 15th, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, head of the Government Steering Committee on Science, Technology, Innovation, Digital Transformation, and Project 06, chaired the 5th session of the committee. In terms of funding, approximately VND 25 trillion was allocated in 2025 for science, technology, innovation, and digital transformation. The Prime Minister announced that around VND 95 trillion is expected to be set aside for these sectors in 2026. He also instructed the State Bank of Vietnam and joint stock commercial banks to effectively implement the VND 500 trillion credit program, focusing on strategic infrastructure and digital technology development.
Non-profit programs sending Vietnamese workers abroad are opening up great opportunities, especially for people in disadvantaged areas, as most costs are covered. Several countries, including Germany, South Korea, Japan, and Australia, are welcoming Vietnamese workers under government cooperation agreements, aiming to create sustainable jobs and improve skills. The nursing program in Germany alone has attracted nearly 1,000 workers, with an average income of about VND 90 million per month. Currently, the Ministry of Home Affairs is implementing 8 overseas labor programs under international agreements, sending over 155,000 workers abroad and generating around VND 17 trillion in foreign exchange annually. These programs prioritize workers from policy-supported groups, including people from poor, remote, coastal, and mountainous areas.
The traditional round basket boats are a familiar part of daily life for fishermen in Kulor. Simple, rustic as they are, these boats carry home the gifts of the sea each day, providing an essential source of income for local families. More in the story today.
Currently, there are 275 households in Kuala Ward that make a living from basket boat fishing. This traditional nearshore fishing method has been passed down through generations, becoming a stable livelihood for local families.
I've been doing this for 30 years, mainly catching shrimp, crabs, and other shellfish. As for fishing in general, I grew up by the sea. My parents did it, I do it too. It's just the way of life here.
Basket boat fishing remains vulnerable to unpredictable weather, with rough seas, high waves, and strong winds making trips dangerous. Traditionally, these small, lightweight boats were at the mercy of the elements, posing risks for fishermen. Thanks to modern upgrades, many basket boats now have engines and storage compartments, reducing reliance on physical effort. Fishermen can travel faster, work more safely, and increase their catch, ensuring that this centuries-old livelihood remains sustainable in today's world.
Fishermen's incomes are basically secure. The hardest part has always been dealing with the weather. Now, with engines installed in the basket boats, the physical burden has been reduced and production efficiency has improved.
As the sun rises, basket boats are turned upside down to dry on the shore after a day at sea. Simple yet resilient, basket boat fishing remains a lifeline for hundreds of households, helping preserve the distinctive coastal way of life in Nghệ An.
The last story to end our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now.